Once a landscape design has been completed, it then is necessary to generate a plant schedule. And gCADPlus has a number of tools that can help you manipulate and generate that plant schedule. The first tool, and they're all gathered together on the gCADPlus drop-down menu under Plant Schedules and Lists, the first step in the process is to attach to this drawing a GCP file. That's just a text file, a list of plant names. So let's pick one up. I've associated one with this drawing and it appears in the status line at the bottom of the screen. And I'll say I'm going to edit that plant list, and up pops the list that I've loaded with this particular drawing. It's very similar to the list that we include in gCADPlus. Now the list is a text file that's very easily edited. You can add columns, add tables, remove columns and so on. What I'd first want to point out is that you can sort information. It's automatically sorted, the list that is, on botanical name, and it's in the alphabetical order. But if you wanted to change for some reason, you could reverse the order just by clicking alongside botanical name. If you came across through here, you could put things in order of common name and in order of reverse order of common names. The ability to sort a column is particularly useful when you're looking for a plant for a particular purpose. So if you click on type, this has sorted all the small shrubs are grouped together, the small trees, the strappy plants, the tall trees, tufted trees, and so on. And you see everything is sorted into order. So I'll quite often use that and quite often reverse the order just to quickly find a plant that fits a particular purpose. So that's the schedule in. It's very easy if you want to remove a particular entry. You just highlight the column there and say delete the record. You can add columns. You can edit what you put in individual columns and scroll across. We've quite deliberately not added much more than botanical name, common name, the type, and some sort of code to indicate species, and I'll show you in a moment why and how we use that code. But I'd stress that the GCP file is quite open and ready for you to add and play with it. Well, let's imagine that we wanted to associate a particular plant name with this species here, and we might be responding to a trend where people are wanting to plant deciduous fruit trees and to enjoy the benefits of that crop. So let's imagine that what we're going to put in here are maybe some grafted ornamental peaches. So we can go to the gCADPlus, pick set data to a plant, we pick the symbol, and up pops the list. Now, we're interested in a peach. We may or may not be able to remember the botanical name of the peach, but if we sort that into order, we'll be able to find that Prunus persica is the peach. So we can tag that plant by clicking on it and okaying it. So now, if we say under gCADPlus, show us all the symbols that have got names, and we click it, up pops the highlighted list, if you like, or the visual clue that all the plants in this group have indeed had their names associated with them, so we can unselect all. We might want to label those. You notice that these species through here, 5ACIT, indicates to someone looking at this plan that a plant whose code is ACIT, 5 individual items or specimens are to be planted in that zone. So let's see if we can now label these plants. Well, again, that tool is up in this list here. It's the Smart Label tool. So we pick the symbol or adjacent symbol. So in this case, we've got 2 of them, and we hit the Enter key, input the first point of a leader label, and in we go. The next point there, hit the Enter key. The text type will leave the same. Do we want to pick up the code? Well, yes, we do, from the GCP file. And do we want to pick up botanical name? No. Common name? No. Do we want to pick up a count? Do we want a count? Well, we'll say yes. So in pops a code, Prunus persica, P for peach, and there's a text code indicating those two species. So let's unselect all. So by associating a GCP file with any drawing, it gives you the ability to tag drawings and indicate drawings in that way. But of course, in many instances, you're going to want a proper plant schedule associated with the drawing. So let's zoom out a bit, zoom extents. We'll just run that show symbols with names just to make sure that we've got all these symbols tagged, and it looks as though we have. So we can now generate the plant schedule. So I'll just pan across and gCADPlus, and I'll come down here and generate the plant schedule. I'll just say draw this standard schedule. It's going to be drawn using the current text style, which happens to be a hand-lettered font. So let's pick it. We're asked to input a corner point and the opposite corner point. So this will draw a schedule for us. It will total up the number of plants. Let's go down to Prunus, because we just added that, and we know we've got two of them. So there's the symbol that's going to be used for Prunus persica, the botanical name, common name there. And if we, let's say the client wants to put 3 in, we want to remove that one and that one. Like the client likes the idea, so we'll say we'll copy that one to that position. Oops, copy it. Sorry, not an erase. I want to select it, right-click, copy. So I'm making an extra copy of that. And at that point, we want to update the schedule. So it's gCADPlus and plant schedule and update it. So the schedule's been updated. If we come in here now, we should have 3 peaches, and there's the symbol. So if we wanted to, it's got a little indicator there of 16 in a red circle. We could bring that over. Some designers like to have some sort of indicator and put it on top of that particular group. If you wanted to alter, let's say, the text height inside of that schedule, the schedule is just a block. So select the block, right-click, and say I'm going to edit that block. Whip in here. Let's just say you wanted to put the botanical name in a slightly larger text font. So we could select the first of them there. Notice its height, which is determined really by the top left and bottom right of where you click the display window. Let's imagine that we're going to make that 250 drawing units high. So it's now been increased in size. And we can now take the modifier and match properties and just take that one and just move through the block. I won't do all of them, then just right click and exit from the drawing edit, the block editor, and we've updated. So now we can close the block editor, return to the drawing, and our botanical name is now a little taller than the common name is. So I hope that gives you some idea of the flexibility, if you like, in drawing that schedule and how to edit it and redo it. So if we ran it again, the plant schedule, draw the standard schedule, and just picked a very sort of shallow and much wider schedule, you'll see that you get a totally different effect. That really is a silly example because the schedule is much, much too wide. If we ran it again and did a narrow, tall column, we get a nicer effect and a much neater effect. The other option is there under custom content, enables a series of questions to be asked about what you want in that column. And you can vary the symbols, or the botanical name can be underneath the common name can be put under the botanical name if you want. So you can ring the changes in the way that that schedule is drawn. But I hope you get some idea there of the way that you can use the plant schedule and the tools that you'll find in that first option of the plant schedule and lists. broad-scale planting's got a similar set of options, but is designed to be working where you're on very large sites, say a golf course or a major development where you've got multiple areas that need to be landscaped, and quite often you'll just use the same symbol and have different specimens of different plant species associated with it. With this first series that we've been looking at here, each individual species has to have an individual symbol, and that's the way most people like to work, but you do have an alternative in the gCADPlus environment.